Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Today on Days of Our Lives, Nicole and Eric have an emotional goodbye. EJ's press conference backfires spectacularly, and Bobby pretends to have information on Lee's murder, while someone recalls carrying out the crime. Bobby reads his book, The Remaining Soul, when Marlena enters his room. He dismissively claims he will only communicate with Jada and no one else. Marlena tries to persuade him to talk about Everett's past, but Bobby simply wants to get back to his work. Marlena says they can't continue like this and departs. "We'll see about that," Bobby says to himself. As they eat breakfast at the pub, Jada tells Rafe that she met Bobby yesterday. Rafe casually mentions that he isn't even genuine. "He was real to me," Jada says with a harsh tone. After Rafe apologizes, Jada informs him that Bobby claims to have knowledge about a murder. Rafe considers it manipulation, but Jada is willing to hear him out. Rafe is concerned that he may become violent and wants her to avoid him. As Melinda nervously awaits Kristen in the square, Connie, a mousy middle-aged woman, approaches her. Melinda remembered her as the vengeful angel that assaulted her on Valentine's Day and held her responsible for Lee's death. Connie apologizes, explaining she was only envious since she liked Lee but he was fixated on her. Melinda is cautiously understanding. Kristen approaches Melinda after Connie has left, saying that the CEO never has to be on time. They sit at a table as Kristen tries to figure out why EJ wants her to hire Melinda as DiMera's general counsel. Also, why would Melinda want to work for her in the first place? Despite being triggered by Kristen's mere presence, Melinda is able to set aside their problems. Kristen cannot say the same. At the DiMera mansion, EJ hurriedly informs Stefan that Gabi must convey how bravely he battled for her freedom at his press conference. Stefan chuckles, noting that EJ only released Gabi because he blackmailed him. As they argue, Gabi walks in, fresh from a visit with Ari in Phoenix. EJ expects them both to attend his news conference. They owe him. Stefan says they will be there. Gabi confronts Stefan with the truth about her release after she overhears him blackmailing EJ. Stefan locks the double doors, informing her that EJ is not Jude's father. Eric comes to the Spectator to inform Nicole that he has a job in Paris. He is flying away today. Nicole, visibly moved, admits she will miss him. Eric, tears welling in his eyes, reiterates the sentiment. However, given EJ's dislike for their collaboration, it may be for the best. Nicole claims he loved it even less after seeing them kiss. Eric reels. If they were together, he isn't sure what he would do if he saw her kissing another man. She breaks down and sobs as she realizes this is indeed goodbye. He caresses her face as she advises they avoid saying the words. Tears fall as they embrace. At the pub, Jada tells Rafe that Bobby will not hurt her, but Rafe believes it is too hazardous. Jada reminds him that this is her job. Would he be concerned about his male detectives? Rafe assures her that he isn't connected with any of his male detectives. He eventually relents and proclaims that he would accompany her. Jada understands Bobby will not tell her anything if he did. She needs to travel alone. Rafe despises it, but warns her to be careful. "I love you." Kristen says in the square that she doesn't want to always look over her shoulder at Melinda. Melinda assures her that this will not be the case. EJ joins them, offering Kristen his DiMera shares to complete the transaction. Kristen, although suspicious, agrees. After she leaves, EJ advises Melinda that she should keep her mouth shut about Jude's paternity. She assures Nicole will not hear about it from her. Nicole saunters towards them. Won't hear what? EJ claims he intended to tell her personally that Kristen hired Melinda. Nicole informs EJ after Melinda's departure that Eric has accepted a position in Paris. EJ believes it is the best decision for everyone. At the mansion, Gabi tells Stefan that they must tell Eric the truth. It killed her to be apart from Ari. She refuses to let Eric miss out on his child's entire childhood. Stefan reminds her that EJ came through for them and they do not need another conflict with his brother. Gabi understands, but Eric does not deserve this. Stefan despises it as well, although he recently regained her affection. He cannot risk anything interfering with their peaceful coexistence. She promises to try and see things his way. Jada enters Bobby's room seeking information about the murder. Bobby wants to be released first. She accuses him of playing games and prepares to depart. He stops her. Rafe arrives at the square to support Gabi at EJ's news conference. Connie interrupts them to express her delight that Gabi was released. She understands Lee would not want her punished for his murder. She walks away, leaving Rafe to ponder how unusual it was. Kristen summons Melinda to the mansion to sign the contract. Kristen then questions why EJ fought so hard for Melinda's job. Melinda can only answer that he is doing what is best for himself. At the townhouse, a depressed Eric informs Marlena that he is leaving for Paris. She understands his desire for distance. He confesses he attempted to move on, but Nicole would always be a part of his heart. Nicole joins other reporters in the square as EJ begins his news conference. After hyping Gabi's liberation, he encourages her to speak a few words. Gabi is grateful to Stefan for loving her and fighting for her independence. She also thanks Rafe and Jada before addressing the victim, Lee. He can now rest in peace now that his genuine murderer has been identified. In the shaky footage, Connie's forehead dramatically wrinkles and her lips sags as she stares ahead in Lee's flat. Using keys, Connie enters Lee's old flat and remembers stabbing him. Back at the press conference, Nicole inquires about EJ's role in reversing Gabi's case. Gabi praises EJ while angrily noting that he put her in prison in the first place. She claims they both let their emotions drive their decisions. In his situation, EJ imprisoned her out of hatred, but then released her out of love. Love for Nicole. He only exonerated Gabi because he was frightened of losing Nicole to the guy she actually loves, Eric, the father of her child. On Days of Our Lives, Xander may not have many supporters, but he can always count on Maggie, his former and future mother-in-law. In many respects, she is both Sarah and Xander's mother. And we're not only talking about the fact that she was his stepmother without knowing it. Their friendship, love, and respect for one another have stayed constant during his time in Salem. According to Paul Telfer, Maggie loved Victor but also learned to tolerate his extreme moral turpitude. And I believe she can't help but see that in Xander, whether she knows or not he's Victor's son. Additionally, he comments, I feel like people always forget that, on top of all the terrible things that Xander has done, he did save Maggie's life when she thought she had killed Adrian in that car crash drunk driving and wanted to kill herself in jail. Despite all of Zara's ups and downs, and Xander's misdeeds even after turning over a new leaf, Telfer adds, it would take a lot, I believe, for Xander to do at this point for Maggie not to be like, yeah, but he's all right by me because he saved my life. He adores my daughter. He treats her like a deity. So, what more do you expect from a son-in-law? That connection has been critical to Xander, therefore it stands to reason that his relationship with his surrogate mother, Maggie, as well as his inferred conflicts with his biological mother, Fiona, have been central to Xander's life in Salem since nearly the beginning. And they've been linked from the outset. It goes right back to the beginning of Xander and Sarah, Telfer recalls, because the first time I ever talked about any of this stuff was when Maggie was going through her relapse with alcohol and I had one of my first real tender scenes ever on the show. Days Xander and Maggie converse on the couch in the old Kiriaki's mansion's living room. It was definitely my first, emotional session, with Suzanne, in which I discuss my horrific background, my alcoholic mother, and so forth. That was when he first opened up to Maggie, Xander's second key relationship. So, he tells me, to have it finally play out consistent with the backstory that I'd already established is really satisfying. While Telfer remains tight-lipped about how this long-awaited reunion between mother and son will unfold, Maggie will undoubtedly play an important role in the plot. And, ideally, if Xander ever needs it, she will be a source of support that his real mother may never be able to provide. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.